God is always talking to us. God is always reaching out to us. Every time I stop to listen, I hear that God has already started. It's not a case of getting God's attention, but it's a case of getting my attention. I'm Lloyd Lee Wilson. I'm a member of Friendship Friends Meeting in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is part of North Carolina Yearly Meeting Conservative. For many folks coming into a Quaker meeting for worship who aren't already familiar with it, there aren't many cues to indicate what's going on. And it sometimes seems like we're having worship based on silence or something like that. But in fact, something very different's going on. From the exterior, there may not appear to be very much different between a group of individuals doing individual meditation or individual contemplation in the same room and a group of Quakers worshiping together. But there are a number of things that are, as we experience them, different. One is that these practices that have as their goal achieving stillness of mind or perfect quiet or single-pointed awareness as a goal are actually quite different from what we are attempting and achieving in meeting for worship. For friends, this point of stillness is only a way station, and we pass through that. It's not our goal, but it is how we get to a point of encounter with God. Sometimes this is called expectant waiting. In my yearly meeting, it's more often called waiting worship. So when I sit down and worship, yes, the beginning looks a lot like stilling the mind and coming to a place of silence. And it is a place of silence of body, silence of mind, silence of emotion, stillness. But we do that in order to pass beyond that into an encounter with the divine. And that's what we're waiting for. So we're waiting worship because we're gathering to prepare ourselves and wait for the presence and guidance of the divine to be made manifest among us. As we gather together, that presence is not just my experience, but in a way, again, that's beyond words. One knows that it's our experience, that we are, as a group, having a particular kind of encounter. And at its best, it becomes what we call a gathered meeting. No words may be said. If outwardly, it may still look like silence. But afterwards, one may find that everybody else who was in that meeting was thinking about the same thing and feeling the same emotions and experiencing that divine presence in a very, very similar way. Francis Howgill calls it the Spirit gathered us in a net and hauled us to shore. So that's what we're getting at, that idea of a gathered meeting. And we're all human. We don't all get to a gathered meeting every first day or even every month. But we are gathering and preparing ourselves and waiting for that encounter to happen. And we find that whether it is my individual encounter in individual worship or this corporate worship, that it is a life-changing relationship.
I'm here in Philadelphia where it is starting to feel legitimately like winter, and I just wanted to say thank you for watching this QuakerSpeak video. We release a new video every Thursday, and you can subscribe to the channel by clicking on this button over here. You can support us for as little as $1 per video. That button is just below me, and you can see all the videos we've ever released in this playlist down here. Thanks again for watching, and have a great Thursday.